right, so got my camera set up. You're gonna have to watch me do it again. Maybe we'll speed it up. Who knows? But I'm fixing to rig the crane back up to the cab. I am gonna be over there, so I'm not gonna talk a whole lot, so you can still hear me. We're gonna go ahead and rig the cab up, get it up in the air, swing it around the side so we can pull the chassis out front. I am thinking I may just flip the chassis right here with the overhead crane, do all the sanding. It wasn't supposed to rain today, but it's looking kind of cloudy, so I'd rather not be outside and have to get a bunch of stuff inside real quick if it starts raining. So we're going to go ahead and lift this cab. I'm still waiting on the high build primer to dry. I was planning to go ahead and sand that and get it finished off. But it's still drying right now, so not a big deal. We'll just lift the cab, get it out of the way. Maybe do a little repositioning to the camera here. That's a little better. All right, so I need to brace this thing up somehow so it doesn't fall over and kink my lines. But now that we got this here, I'm gonna use a crane, flip the chassis up on its side. That's the easiest way for me to not lay on my back and sand the bottom of these frame rails. Still gotta finish this side, the outside of it, but I got the top. I did the front K-member, all the front suspension, everything, the frame rails all the way inside and the bottom of the frame rails all the way to the back. I did the top side of the frame rails and the outside all the way down that side. So I got to do this section right here, sand the bottom, and then probably while it's still on its side, we'll go ahead and take a paint gun, shoot the frame. So we're going to shoot this in POR 15. I'm not going to prime it. Hate on me if you want, but I'm not going to prime it. Everything here is in good condition. I think there's plenty for the bite to bite, or the paint to bite too. From what I understand, POR 15 is a self-etching paint anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But let me figure out a brace for that master cylinder before we pull this thing up. My old pan hard bar. That'll work perfect. Bolt's a little too long. Find something shorter. Oh yeah, there we go. Stay. Oh yeah. Minty. That ought to keep it from falling over. Now, pick a chain. I believe I'm just going to hook it to the body mounts right there. Raise her up. So yeah, find a chain. I did take pictures of the cab corners while I was going through. The only one that I missed, and I thought I took it, I guess I didn't, was the initial rot that was under the cab corners. Might not have got one before the cab corners either. But either way, I do have a few pictures. We'll throw a slideshow in somewhere of showing me do the cab corners. Kind of what that process looked like when you get under it. You find more rust. You cut it out, you patch it, you paint it, you keep going. So I do have some pictures of at least one side of this to kind of show you the process and how it was done. Cool. I'm just gonna let it balance on that tipping point instead of taking it all the way up. Because I am by myself. And to pull the whole frame back over once I get it done is probably gonna be pretty heavy and a little bit more than I feel like doing today, okay? Sinuses have got a hold of me, and I am not feeling 100% right now. So, but that ought to do everything we need to do. The bottom of the frame actually looks good too. So, yeah, we're just gonna hit all this with a wire reel real quick. Probably scrape off the bottom of my tray member, and then we'll start laying down some paint. Cool. That looks like about it. Remember, kids, don't ever stand under a suspended load. And safety third. All right, now that we got all the, it's not hook bolts, you call it a hook bolt, that are rivets, brads, whatever you want to call it. Use the wire cup to get around all the brads in the frame. Tight to get two areas, stuff like that. So now I'm going to get a grinder with a wire wheel. Finish knocking the rest of that stuff off, hopefully here in 15-20 minutes. Then I got to get some wax and grease remover. Don't know if you know this or not, but old small blocks tend to leak a little bit of oil. And come to find out, when I pulled the engine out, I actually had one of my valve covers was loose, and I didn't realize that, so it was leaking a lot of oil. Anyways, the bottom side of that cross member has a lot of oil on it, as did the top. So I just used some wax and grease remover on the top to get rid of the oil, the film on it, so that way the paint will stick to it. I'm going to do the same thing to the bottom. Maybe that frame rail too, because for some reason, well, I guess that's the side that the valve cover was loose on, but the passenger side of the frame rail had oil going down the bottom of it. So, yeah, we're going to do that. And end time lapse. So, frame's ground off. There's only a couple little seams where something's, say, bradded onto the frame that I can't quite get up into the very corner of. But like I said, this is I'm not trying to make this a perfect restoration. It wasn't even supposed to be a frame off restoration, but somehow it turned into that. Yeah, so it's not going to be perfect. I'm not going for perfect. I just want to knock what little bit of flaky rust and mud and oil and everything else off of it from all the years and get some fresh paint on it, make it look okay. So we got that part done. Originally, I was going to shoot it outside so I didn't have to worry about overspray on anything, and the sun did come out, so that's cool. But I've already got it on its side in here, so maybe I'll just mix up some paint and shoot it right here. I think I will throw a tarp over the cab just in case, because it is pretty close. But really, there's not a whole lot else in here that can't get a little bit of paint on it. So, yeah, we'll probably cue another time lapse or something, or maybe just chop this thing up and put it together. You know what I'm saying? I don't, but it's fine. So, yeah, let's keep doing other stuff. All right, so obviously before we get too deep, I've got to, like I said, take some wax and grease remover, get rid of some of this oil film. Also got to take some alcohol, wipe the frame off, just get rid of the little powdery, dust, flakes, stuff like that. Make sure the paint's got a good surface to stick to. So I can't find a tarp. I can't find a tarp. Huh. I think I still got a plan. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to shoot the bottom of the rear end housing and the front of this. Bottom, lower control arms, all that stuff. Then I'll set it back down and I'll roll the frame around to the paint booth. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good plan. Cue another time lapse. Back with paint. So, like I said, all I'm going to do is shoot the bottom of the front suspension, bottom of the rear end, the track arm, stuff like that. Stuff that I can't just lay on the ground and get. and then we'll lower this thing down, take it to the paint booth, and I'll shoot the top side and side of the frame rails, because that's not too bad. Just lean over and you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I got POR 15 in here. This is just a heavy mix, so it's just straight paint actually. You know, bottom coat. That's what it sounds like. Bottom coat. Sounds good. Tell you what we are going to do is close these doors. That'll help with some of the wind and overspray. There we go. Keep most of the wind out anyways. All right, so that should be the bottom side of the frame painted. Anything that I can't get to with it just sitting on the ground, or at least jack stands. So no big deal there. I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes, and then we'll set it back down and roll around the paint booth. In the meantime, I'm gonna resituate the camera. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so I got the camera moved. Once I got the frame on the ground, I actually realized there was no reason to roll it all the way around the building back to the paint shop in the back. So I'm just going to paint it on the ramp here in the front. It's a little bit windy, but at the end of the day, it's just a frame, and it's not going to be perfect, so I'm not worried about it. I do have to mix up some more paint. Probably should have done that before turning on the camera, but hey, editing magic can solve that problem. I still have never really decided if I want to leave my springs red or black, and I don't think I care enough to try and mask them, so I'm just going to shoot everything black. Still need to take my master cylinder stand off because I got to paint the frame under it. But we're just going to shoot it right here. That'll give it there's already been in the sun, so it'll bake on a little bit before I roll it back in here. Because I got to get that 47 back in here before I leave today as well, in case it rains. There's no hood on it yet, so can't leave it outside. But yeah, enjoy the birds, enjoy the scenery, the time lapse, the time cut, whatever we're gonna do, because I don't know yet. I'm not the editor. Oh, good, it's still recording. So, I got my paint mixed. Yeah. The only thing I got to do is take that master cylinder stand off. We should be about ready to start spraying this hoe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me grab my tool real quick. So I'm just gonna do a quick nasty dust off with a little bit of wax and grease remover. And that should be about all we need to do. I will still have to take the pan hard bar bracket off and paint under that, and just a few other little odds and ends that I'll have to get right later. But for now, we're just gonna choose some color. Good deal. So, yeah, we now have the frame wiped down. Quick and dirty, ain't gotta be perfect, like I said. So, we're gonna start shooting some paint. I'll start from the inside, work my way out in the center, work my way out from there as well. Just see how it goes. Hopefully, I got enough hose pull out here. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Well, it is too low for me to really get under the paint with a gravity cup anyways. So, I guess I'm gonna get the back up. Pick it back up. Remember, kids, don't stand under suspended load. Do as I say, not as I do, because I'm kind of stupid. Do a quick once over the bottom, make sure I didn't miss something. Looks good to me. I'm just gonna let it back down there. All right, now we can go back painting. of paint. Well, not 2 quarts, about 1.5 quarts. But that's black. You may notice that I left the diff cover alone. There's intention behind that. I gotta pull the diff cover off anyway. That homemade panhard bar that I was using to hold up my master cylinder, I threw it on there years ago. I may have already said this, but it's been rubbing the diff cover a little bit. Not through, but it's thin, so I gotta pull the diff cover off. Probably gonna make me or buy me a fabricated one to put on. I'll shoot it nice gloss black, nice and shiny. Maybe I'll do white, you know, switch it up. But I'm gonna do something a little bit different for that. For now, I do believe that's about the end of this video, to be honest with you. I'm gonna let this thing bake in the sun for an hour or so. Sweep up the shop and probably call it a day. Go get me some dinner. So appreciate y'all coming along with me today. Thanks for watching. Join us again next time.